Okay. So we just watched National Lampoon's Pledge This.
Starring the ever talented and socially useful Paris Hilton.
Make your Paris Hilton face. Love me! Love me! Okay. Paris Hilton in this movie is dating a guy that looks like the love child of Jamie Kennedy and what's his name?
K-Fed.
K-Fed. K-Fed and Jamie Kennedy love child, who kind of looks like my sister's boyfriend. But and she is a controlling psycho bitch who runs a sorority. And she makes the sororities, for some reason, to get on the cover, need diversity, which turns out not being true because they get on the cover anyway of some magazine.
And by diversity, they mean a lesbian and a fat chick, pretty much?
No. Diversity means nerds, you know, as in people that actually study. Bio majors. Woo!
I major in talking to people.
But,
no future.
nothing really happened. There was a literal shit storm. Fat girl got stuck in a toilet, got blown out with poop.
Yeah, honestly, the most emotional reaction I got to this movie was
everything that involved poop.
Well, the plumber, who has to, clean up this poop explosion.
He's from America.
He's a hardworking man who's just trying to do his job.
He has a Third Reich eagle on his desk, though, so I can't say he's the best character.
Crap.
He's
You're
not
right.
the best character.
Now I'm emotionally conflicted. This movie did a really good job of toying with their emotions.
The best character is a fat girl. I related to her because I too enjoy Pringles.
Pringles are delicious.
So, first they're in the sorority, and then they don't like being humiliated. So then they get kicked out. And then they embarrass Paris Hilton, who apparently used to be an ugly girl in high school, which is, there's no way. Anyone that used to be an ugly fat kid, speaking from experience, does not turn into a horrible person that judges everybody on their looks.
Truth.
Your horrible experiences as a fat, ugly child teach you better.
Humility.
The only good part about this, according to Matt, who's not here right now.
Yeah, Matt give this movie a raving 3 out of 3 stars.
But you gotta lower the out of to 3, just like when you decide to sleep with Paris Hilton, who doesn't show her boobs in this movie. So if you want to watch this movie to see Paris Hilton's boobs, just watch the sex tape where she answers the phone during sex, because she's so interested.
Yeah, also this movie should be brought to court for animal cruelty because Paris Hilton's dog, A, belongs to Paris Hilton, which is horrible, B, is not taken care of by Paris Hilton, and C, is, by Paris Hilton's command, forced to give oral sex to her boyfriend because she doesn't feel like
And
it.
she calls baby dick.
Yeah. And he calls her, what was it, angel tits?
Angel tits and baby dick.
Yeah.
That's successful couples right
just
there.
Just like us, honey.
Okay. Go die in a hole.
Okay.
But the only good part about this movie, according to Matt, was this movie was very offensive to lesbians and gays, but
yeah, the lesbian character, she basically was played up to, carry out every single stereotype. Not even like the...
Except the lesbian sorority that wore Dickies shirts and all had cut, short hair and were just basically trying to force themselves on the girls, because that's totally how this works.
Yeah.
But, lesbian girl makes a crack at, one of the sorority
Nice lines.
girls.
What time do they open?
Some random guy that's always hitting on the girl slides in on the desk. Nice line! High five and leaves. But then Paris Hilton decides to talk about how great she is and seduces the teacher who is teaching about the Kama Sutra.
Yeah, and actually it's also worth noting, to nerd out for a moment, Kama Sutra was not actually originally intended to be about sexual pleasure. It was about achieving nirvana, which is, if anything, the antithesis of sexual pleasure. So every time you hear that marketed towards, sex is awesome.
There's a stereotypical Indian girl too who always prays to Vishnu and has never seen a large penis before.
The fake boob scene.
Oh, and there was a fake boob scene where for some reason there's a mom that her husband slept with his secretary, probably for good reason because this woman is crazy. Her 2 kids and her husband, she leaves them to go to college, and she shows the girls her fake boobs.
I firmly believe that any man, or woman for that matter, who cheats deserves to rot in hell. That being said, you kind of understand why this guy did it.
But that scene is terrifying, and she has a translucent nipple.
2 translucent nipples.
But that
and,
was-
you know, like, cuts and tears along her
Him-
chest.
What did you think of this movie?
My brain afterwards feels like what the mom's boob job looks like.
Yeah, Paris Hilton apparently learned a lesson in 5 minutes after being humiliated, because the best way to learn a lesson in the most valid and valuable way is through public humiliation. That's the only way
You
you're...
should have carried her ass and just dumped pig blood on her.
Everybody, this movie's disappointing. You see a lot of boobs that, unfortunately, they don't move because none of them are real. And 2, Paris Hilton doesn't. Nothing bad happens to Paris Hilton except she gets embarrassed.
If you're
God forbid you get embarrassed in college.
If you're
You can't live it down in the real world.
if you're jumping up and down in that pillow fight that every sorority does, because this is a totally realistic, you know, college situation, the boobs would not stay there while everything else moves. That's not realistic.
It's like being in
anatomy
zero
and
gravity.
physics.
Okay, communications, kid. This review's
I'm
going on
majoring
too
in
long.
talking.
This review's going on too long.
It's like,
If you can watch another movie, go for it, unless you're really intoxicated.
there were a
And
few
then
really funny one-liners, and not intentionally
very
funny.
few.
She's like
I
talking
can't
about.
see. The only thing that follows me or something is my shadow, but I can't even see it because I'm so thin.
Yeah, there are a few lines like that where the way they're delivered, because they're so terrible, they kind of drop through horribleness and back
Yeah.
into like
Well,
hilarity.
like most of the good movies we've seen on this list. But yeah, this movie was weird. It hurts my life knowing that I am of the same gender as some of these people. So I'm
It
gonna
hurts
go.
my life knowing I'm the same species as these people.
I'm gonna go be a man now.
Yeah.
I wanna have fun. Good night.